It's
Going?
recording.
Okay.
You know what we got into?
Elville. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a brief, just a brief thing to start with, and then I'm going to have each of our panelists introduce themselves. In a small town, Main Street typically represents the heart of the community, serving as the central hub for commerce, social interaction, and local identity. It's often lined with shops, restaurants, and businesses that are vital to the town's economy and social fabric. In Overbrook, our Main Street is actually called Maple Street. It began in 1886 when our town was founded. It has always been the heart of our hometown. Tonight we are joined by a panel of Overbrook citizens who will share their Main Street memories. So I'm going to have each one of you introduce yourselves, and if you could tell us your name and the first year you lived in Overbrook. First year you lived in Overbrook. Yep, start with you.
I never lived in
Well, in the area.
Stand up.
Nope.
Don Hilton, first year I lived in Overbrook was 1939, out in the country. So that's the year that I started to grade school. And out of my high school class, there's only four of us left, and 3 of us are here.
Tonight? Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Nothing else to do.
I'm Dale Fox, and I was born in Wakarusa and moved here when I was 5.
And what year was that, Dale?
It would have been 1946.
1946.
Yeah, and oh, and by the way, the reason this is Maple Street is because the street I live on was, the original plot of the city was to be Market Street. And it's kind of wider thing than it is. It was supposed to be Main Street was over there.
So Main Street was supposed to run east and west instead of north and south.
Yeah, it was going by here and then it was to be up that way.
Very cool.
Dale, you still part of my speech.
Oh, no!
I'm Patty Colson, and I was born 3.5 miles west of here in 37. So I've been here all those years, except for a few years that we lived in Lawrence.
Very good.
Jane Goodyear Anderson, and I've never lived in Overbrook, but we came here to shop, and we live 4 miles to the north and 4 miles to the east, out in Twin Mountain country.
Yeah, right south of Twin Mountain.
Yeah.
Very cool. Gil?
Gail Warren. I grew up out here around Globe Store, born in 39. We came here, like in 45. I just remember as a kid being up and down the sidewalk here and bugging the folks and everybody that lived here. But I've been around here all my life. Right?
Very cool.
I'm Charles Hall, and I was born 1933, 6 miles east of here. 4 miles east of there, so I haven't got too far.
Ah, very good. So,
And I'd like to say that one of Don's classmates,
God, there you go.
I was wondering, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I'm not 33 years old.
Yeah. So two of you are on the panel tonight. So I would personally like to thank you all for taking part in our panel discussion tonight. I do have some questions. We will see how many of these questions I actually need to ask, and we'll just start I'll probably pick a different person to start with. So let's see. Patty, what is your earliest memory of downtown Overbrook?
My earliest memory is Overbrook Fair. It was on Main Street, and I remember a Ferris wheel. And that's about the only thing I remember. That really made an impression on a little girl.
So if there was a Ferris wheel, where was it set up? Like on the incline?
Right in the middle of
Out
the
in the
street.
middle of the street.
But on an incline?
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, they had it blocked up, so okay. I was just thinking, woo, right
after school, we got to come and watch it burn.
Oh,
We didn't have any fire protection,
yeah, no fire trucks, right?
no fire trucks.
Wow,
Bucket brigade.
bucket brigade.
Buckets.
What about you, Gail? What's your earliest memory of downtown?
Oh, one thing was that we used to have a movie truck come in here every Sunday night down here on the South Street. They come out there and set up, and they put a apron around or whatever, around the truck and stuff. And of course, kids would crawl in and out of it. It was off the ground that far, so we'd crawl in and out under there. But it was quite a deal to have movies in Overbrook at that age.
What do you remember, like a movie that played that you watched?
Not really. That's too long ago.
That's too long ago. Anybody remember a movie that was played?
With the green hair.
The boy with the green hair?
Really?
Huh.
That wasn't me.
Haven't heard of that before. Yeah?
Yeah. But that was quite a deal for a small town. They come in here in this truck and set up, have movies every Sunday night.
You used to set it up? They hire you?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
They probably did.
I've got to go in free.
Oh, I got to watch the movie free. So did you have to buy tickets or
Well, you had to pay for it, of course, but I don't remember what.
did they have it like roped off and you had to like pay the money to get in the roped off area?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they put in
Canvas,
a tent?
canvas.
No, it was just a
Around.
tall one that went around,
Oh.
Yeah.
12 feet tall.
So people couldn't stand on the outside and watch the movie. You had to be in it.
Had a hand.
That would be quite the sight. I'd like to see a picture of that.
I think at one time they showed it on the side of a building too.
I think you're right, Patty. I think they did for a while.
I think we have a story about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Charlie, let's go down to you. What is your favorite place on Main Street that no longer exists?
There's a lot of them that don't exist.
Do you have a favorite one that doesn't exist?
Well, I kind of remember Gurdon Fair one time, but, there was a, I was in there, and somebody bought me a bottle of Bob, and they had salt, oil cans, and that was my first experience, pop salt.
Cobb and salt. Oh my.
I thought the oil can was very different.
Yeah.
Jane, do you have one?
I remember coming into town to buy groceries, and there was two grocery stores. There was O'Brien's down here and Fisher's across the street.
Yeah.
And we would go into Fisher's first because they had lockers that kept frozen, some of our frozen food in. So we go in there and then we shop both at the stores.
Very cool. How about you, Dawn?
Well, if we're going to talk about grocery stores, we had several. Of course, after the Farmer's Union store, that was a merchandise store. But then we had Alvin Miller, we had O'Brien's, and later we had Fisher's, and GP Hart was right here where we're sitting at.
Yeah.
So that was the grocery stores. Now we have none.
Yeah. So was there only ever two operational at one time, or was there more than two?
No, there was at least 4 operations.
All four were operational at one time. Wow. That's good. What do you got, Patty?
Well, you brought up the GP Hart store. It was quite a store.
Yes, it was.
And you could go in there and you could buy almost anything you needed for your house. And then you might get some candy. Candy.
Do you still have candy that's that old? Oh.
I bought, when they sold out, I bought these, and that was probably in the 50s. And I about wore them out.
Do you still wear them?
You may have to have them redone.
Well, this one doesn't have a ton.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, that was my memory of
My wife
the art store.
has a tall calendar of the GP Hart 1929 calendar, and it's a fancy picture of a Westing dressed lady, and that hangs in our living room. She's going to give it to you when she's
That'll be awesome. I bet the lady's wearing some shoes that look like that too, don't you suppose?
You could buy shoes or clothes or groceries or anything.
Yeah, fabrics,
Fabric.
furniture.
He had the best choice of candies.
Were they all a penny? That's what I want to know.
They had a glass front and it went clear across.
Yeah.
I remember, they had tons of candy. They were close.
So I know Toppings had candy when I was a kid. Did Toppings have candy back then?
Oh, some, I think.
Toppings was-
Cal Kaufman had,
Cal
Kaufman had more candy.
Yeah.
He was an older fellow that walked up the stick.
Toppings was only 25 foot wide back then. And
Was it in where they were?
the south part.
Okay.
And then Cal Kaufman was just north of it, and it was a two-story building. In 1957, when Bob Topping died, Blue Seals bought that building from Cal. Or no, I don't think Cal owned it, I don't know who owned it, but anyway, Cal moved down the street and she bought that building and incorporated it into her drugstore. And it's still all one building with that fake wall in the middle because the insurance office is in the south side.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. You guys have talked about the fair, but were there any other events held on Main Street that you remember? And I won't call somebody out. If you have one,
Well, Halloween, but we don't want to talk about that.
That was later.
Okay.
They would block Main Street, they blocked Main Street completely with corn fodder stalks and anything that they did, outhouses.
the kids did?
They completely blocked it off, completely.
We did that, and I had to go arrest them after that.
No, it
Oh,
wasn't.
gotcha. So they were the naughty ones and then you went and arrested them.
Yeah, I was.
So how about the night that Gail Warren had his Model A, was it a Model A? And you ran over, it was icy, and they were doing kitties in the street.
In the middle of Main Street?
Oh, right down there, yeah. And Gary fell out, Gary Goff fell out, and Gail went right over the top of it.
We was in the intersection at the doctor's office,
Ah.
and this old Model A, you could just give it a little throttle and just sit there and go round and round and round. And we probably had 8 people in it. And Gary Goff fell out, but he didn't get hurt.
That's good.
Overbrook didn't get water until 1953, running water. And everybody had not everybody, but most people had an outdoor toilet privilege. And the big thing on Halloween was, with the kids was, especially the high school kids, to go around and just dump them over. I know somebody, you remember that?
I didn't do it, but I remember it.
Don, I'm pretty sure that kids still do that today, but with the porta potties.
Yeah.
Kids used to fit this guy, he lived all by himself, an old man, and they fit his outhouse. So one night he had some people get it, and they set it up like this.
Oh, that was.
Bob Topping walked up, pushed it over, and he fell in it.
Yeah.
I got a big kick out of it.
Do you have one, James? Do you have an event?
We had a car dealer downtown, and I can't remember who it was.
What was the car dealer's name?
Fred Reed. Fred Reed first.
Yes, first, who was the next one?
Brown.
Yeah,
And then it was Malcolm.
yeah, that's one I.
Malcolm and then Brown.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right. Malcolm.
It was where the Mexican restaurant is now, there was a car dealership there. Really nice car dealership. Big show windows in the front.
57 Chevy in there.
Lot of automobiles.
Where was that?
Where the grocery store?
Yeah, where the
Yeah.
former Mexican
Yeah.
restaurant is now.
That was,
Did it burn down?
yep,
Did it burn down?
Yes,
I don't,
I think it did.
Doc Kaufman had a house summer agency there, and after Bachman was developing Chevrolet agency, and place, built up, run from, so they bought out the agency and turned the building into a Target.
I don't know, it burned when
Remember
it,
that or not?
it must have been 57, because he had a brand new 57 Chevrolet in there.
Yeah, that's about one bird.
And I told Dad I wanted to buy that, I said, I can fix it, and he wouldn't let me do it.
After it was burned? You were gonna buy it after it was burned?
Burned out in there, but I could have got a seat, you know.
So, the bicentennial, when it occurred, right, there was a big parade and stuff, or centennial, which one was it, centennial?
Yeah, that,
I think 1961.
Was it part of the fair, or was it a separate event?
No.
Separate event.
What did they have besides the parade? That's the only thing I know that happened.
Oh, it went on for a couple months, whatever. You had to grow a beard or buy a permit.
You had to grow a beard or buy a permit to not grow a beard?
Yes. I bought the permit.
okay, I don't
Maybe
remember.
after that done, I mean, they didn't buy it back.
1961.
Oh,
was
I don't
Kansas'
remember that.
100th birthday.
Yeah.
And so there were a lot of events for that.
But in Overbrook, you had to grow a beard or buy a permit to not. Otherwise, you went to jail?
Oh, yeah.
They had a jail up there when they were doing it.
Oh, was it a
And
fundraiser?
he'd have to pay
Ah.
$5 to get out or something.
You had to buy yourself
It was a
that.
big celebration, really was.
I got some permits, the beer permit.
You have them? Oh, that's cool.
I
Oh,
give
I
one,
was kinda
I
like-
give one of the homeowners that got down at the barber shop. I got something,
Yes, she was in it.
Yeah, this is a beer permit.
Had the kids dressed.
I get all.
Yeah, I think, Judy and Mom, isn't there a picture of you guys with Grandma?
Yeah, in 51, it wasn't 51.
No, it was 61.
61.